What's good, everybody? As always, man, want to thank everyone for continuously tuning in to OG Suicide in the Building. My show is based on mental health because mental health is very important, which normally get kicked under the rug, and people don't really give no attention to that. But if your mental's not right, then nothing else about you will be good. And today, special guest today, I got my loved ones in the building, man. The Lovebirds is in the building with me today, and we gonna get into it. Loved one, what's going on?
Yes. What's up? I'm your girl, Niche Bars.
I'm Ethan 760.
And you know what it is. Like, we up in the building.
Lovebirds in the building today, man.
Oh, yeah. Tell me, man, where does the name Lovebirds come from?
Lovebirds actually came in our divorce. We were still friends, and we were still doing music. And we had a song called Good Life. At that time, that song was like a secular song. And when we did that song, and in the midst of listening to the reference track of that, I told him, I was just like, hey, we should be called the Lovebirds. And he looked at me. He thought it was corny, but I had to explain. I said, look, like, we still got love for each other. We divorced, but we still friends, and we still got that love. It ain't faded. So I was just like, we might as well go ahead and be a group and call it the Lovebirds. And I kind of convinced them.
She persuaded me into being like, all right, we can make it hard. We can make it hard.
Okay.
And it was true. Like, she actually, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, even through all this, she's still my dog. Like, it don't change the fact of the matter that, like, things we done went through in life.
Yes.
With each other.
Yes.
Like, I can't take that back.
Understood.
So it's like, the love I got for you, it'll never change.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so when we did that song Good Life, it was like, you know what, we do mesh good together as far as us creating together. So that's when it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
before we even started doing like gospel rap, we were just straight up the Lovebirds.
Straight out.
Regular hip hop, about to go ahead and drop these ratchet singles and go ahead and take over the game like that. But God had other plans. That's all that was.
Oh, okay. Okay. And where did you grow up at, loved one?
I grew up in so I lived in Los Angeles, California until I was about 8. I went to 93rd Street Elementary School. After that, I moved to Ontario because my dad, he got a job working at the M&M Mars factory. Then from there, I was there in Ontario till about like 12. After that, the M&M Mars plant moved to the high desert in Atlanta, California out there. So they relocated all their employees. So that's when I moved to the high desert, which was Hysteria. From there, I was there for like a year. Then I moved to Apple Valley. I moved to Apple Valley in like the end of 6th grade, going into the 7th grade. And that's kind of where I started going through life.
Okay.
Right there. Went to Granite Hills High School, Apple Valley High School out there, but that's why I put the 76 on the back of my name. Like all my family is from LA. I got cousins from Watts. I got a family that's all through LA, Gardena, LA, like the whole thing. But it was like I jumped off the porch in the 760.
Okay.
Like so, that's why I threw the 760 on the back of my name.
Okay. And what about you, loved one?
So every time I'm asked this question, it's like I get puzzled because part of me was in Compton during my early years, and then I was in LA over there on the World on Will side, which we call it the West Side. And then same kind of situation, but a little bit different. My brother was into game banging, and my mom wanted to get us out of LA, so she ended up moving us to Victorville in, I believe, 2004. And then in 2005, we ended up going to Apple Valley, which is my stomping grounds. So that's why when you ask me where I'm from, I don't know whether or not to say I'm from LA or if I'm from the Ville. High Desert, because I done went to high school out there, college out there. So, went to Granite Hills High School as well. Graduated from there, ended up in college in Ontario, back to the High Desert, Arizona, back here. So, yeah.
Okay, you traveled, you moved around.
Yeah, a little bit. Still trying.
Okay.
Still trying to move around for real.
And how did y'all meet?
Oh, we met, I was a little hot tail. So I used to see him. Walking through the field. And at the time, it was his little sister. But I thought it was his baby. And one time I seen him walking through the field. And I was on a school bus. And I yelled up out of the school bus, "Hey, boy, you cute." And he couldn't see me at all.
Man, these little kids is fast. But I would pick up my baby sister from daycare before my mom and dad would get off work, and I would have to walk her home in the stroller. So like Monday through Friday, you gonna see me push my little sister
straight out.
And everybody, I didn't know this, but everybody thinking I got a baby. at 15.
They just gave you a
keep
kid,
They
huh?
just see me pushing this baby. They're like, I think that's his kid. So yeah, for the longest, she thought my baby sister was my child, but I'm like, no, that's my little sister, man.
And we had friends, similar friends, so we ended up bumping into each other at another friend's house where we began to become friends. But I liked him. He knew I liked him. I knew he had a girlfriend, but something about me just knew that wasn't gonna last. Like I knew that was my step. And then we went to this party, this house party, and we ended up leaving. And that night that we left the house party, that's when he confessed that he had liked me. And so even then, it was still like he was still shy. And then he was walking down the street and his friend was just like, hey, you know he's single now. And so it was like he was giving me the hint, like, you better hop on this. So I was like, so you single? He started laughing like, yeah, I'm single. I'm like, you know what? Call me, you know? And so he ended up calling me and I asked him out and he was scared. He was scared to date me because I was crazy at that time. All I did was fight and stuff. So
She was West LA crazy.
So he had
Straight
to ask one of his
baby.
friends, like, hey, you think I should date her? 'Cause, you know, she a little. And he was like, man, you better hop on that. So then he got back on the phone, was just like, yeah. I was still crazy.
Okay. Still, regardless. Okay. Y'all first date together was where? Where y'all went on y'all first date?
I want to say our first date was at this Chinese buffet around the corner from the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
First day was at a Chinese buffet.
Yeah. Oh, check. Y'all did it fancy.
It was doing
That's
it
that
up.
allowance money.
that little $40 from the Friday was going crazy.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And then you said, when did y'all get married?
Oh, we got married March 11th of 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, we got married at the courthouse.
What was that? What?
19.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how did that go?
Well, we didn't. It was like we've been together since we was 14.
Okay.
And so being 14, we just been rocking with each other. 19, we get married. We didn't have no guidance. It's not like
Our parents wasn't married.
Yeah, it's not like we had parents that was married that can guide us through marriage. We didn't have friends that was married who could tell us. So we were just basically floating. And in that floating, we're immature at the same time. We're still growing, still learning each other. And, you know, a lot of things didn't go our way. His way nor my way. My mama ended up passing away.
Oh,
and
wow.
when my mom passed away, a little stuff got a little bit bitter in me, and we kind of went left from there.
Yeah, super left. And just off of that, like, the problem with getting married at such a young age, like 18, 19, is the fact of the matter of, like, you ain't grew up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard on a marriage to grow up and make those little ignorant, immature mistakes that you would make as a young male or a young female when you with your soulmate. Yeah. Because it can kind of like taint their perspective of you.
Mm.
Like, because it's supposed to be like this holy matrimony thing, but this like, you still got that little ignorant ratchet side of you that you ain't got out yet, because you committing to somebody so young in your life. So I think that, on top of us losing our mom at that age and not knowing how to, as a husband, how I'm supposed to help my wife mourn through that as well. So there was times where I failed as far as like consoling her. Okay. And not like learning how to help her process this huge dramatic, because at this point she's lost the only person she got.
Straight out.
Like straight up. That's how she felt. Now me now knowing that, but then
you didn't know you were young.
I didn't know how to deal with that like at all. So that, and then just that whole rebellion phase was what really kind of like tore that first marriage apart.
Oh, okay. And would you say, like you said, he was young. So can you say you felt like he wasn't supportive enough at that particular time when that happened?
Well, no, I didn't feel like he was, when we first got married, I didn't feel like he was supportive, because at that time, he was running with his friends, like my cousin, his homeboys. It was like he was choosing more of the homies over me. So a lot of my needs was neglected. And at the same time, I was in the church. He wasn't ready for the church, but I was in the church. And so it was just like we was going down different paths. It was like certain things and morals that I had by trying to live for God, he wasn't ready for that yet. And you know, being influenced by your homies and your friends that look like they got everything going on and that light looked good, he was always choosing that side until he realized that when it got tough, like who was on his side. So
Okay. And you was always there.
yeah, always there.
That's
But he
good.
became supportive. I want to say now he's more different than he was then. But
oh, y'all older now.
yeah, and that part, that's what I was getting to. That part of him was the child part of him. But I can't sit there and just say he was a child like that time too, because I was too.
Yeah, I was just finna ask you that.
I didn't know, like, even though like I was in God and I was in church trying to praise dance and all that stuff, one thing I feel like I felt at as a wife was I didn't know how to pray for him. I didn't know how to pray for my husband when I was angry at him. So it would be times where I felt neglected. I felt abandonment, especially with daddy issues. Like now I'm seeing those same daddy issues inside of my husband. So it's disrupting me a little bit different. And when we bump heads, like I wasn't about to hit the knees, oh Lord, do it. Like it was like, if you bye. Like, you know, I didn't know how.
So instead of praying for him, you
Yeah.
just was like, do you?
Yeah, I didn't know how to pray for him. And when I should have been praying, I should have been that praying wife on my knees. I was more of not looking at it in the spiritual, that he's in the spiritual warfare. I was just seeing him like, you don't want to be here. Like, and if you don't want to be here and you want to be with them, then set me free. That's how I was seeing it. But again, I was child. I was 19. I didn't have that guidance to someone to tell me like, no, you need to pray for your husband. Don't give up on him. Pray for him. I just felt like, well, he don't want to be a husband, so why should I be a wife?
Did you ever talk to anybody at the church to ask them?
I talked to some people at my church, but it just always seems like without both of us sitting there, now being an adult, opinions are biased.
Okay.
They only hear your side of the story. They only get how you feel.
Okay.
And it could never get his side or how he felt. So some of the advice wasn't always the best advice that I needed. Like some people would tell me, well, if he's not doing this, you need to do that. You need to do that. Well, this is my second marriage and stuff like that. So it wasn't the right advice that I needed, because
So you was
that's
getting
the same-
bad advice.
Yeah, because that's the same advice that made me make the decision that, you know, what are you here for? What am I here for? What are we doing?
Did anyone give you good advice during this time?
No, I think I stopped looking. Like once my
Okay.
mom died,
Okay.
I didn't even care anymore.
Okay.
I didn't even care
You
anymore.
lost everything.
Yeah.
Okay, then moving past that, so did y'all separate?
We never separated.
Okay, that's
we
good.
always lived in the same house with each other, even
Okay.
when we wasn't rocking, married but wasn't rocking. We were still living in the same
That's what's up.
household. But
The love was still there.
Yeah, it was still there. It's just the romance and
romance
that
that kinda
affection.
faded away.
That it kind of felt. We failed at it.
Okay, then you eventually start running the streets and start giving more attention to the wife.
Yeah, I had to get out of the streets. God gave me a glimpse to get out of the streets early, man. I had a situation to where it had went left, and I was just like, you know what, Lord? Like, if you get me out of this jam, like, I'm gonna be done.
Were you locked up when you was saying
I
those
wasn't even
words?
locked up.
Okay,
It didn't go
that's
there.
good.
But
That's
but
good.
here's the thing, though. So I'm like, just get me out of this jam. So on my way home, he like, listen, what you gonna do? Like, and I hear this voice clear as day. Like, he like, what you gonna do? Because I'm not finna spare you no more. Like, if this is the life you gonna live, then you gonna get everything.
You
got to
come with
that.
the consequences.
Yeah, so it's like, but you're not finna just be abusing my grace no more. And skimming through by the hairs of your chin, getting past these things you be getting past. And I was wise enough to tear that and be like, all right then. So I got home and I went and got me a job. Like, you know what? So the homie's like, listen, I'm cool. Like, I'm out. And they like, oh, I wasn't that bad. But I'm like, what's that bad? Like, when does it get
How many
bad?
more tries I gotta take
like, how many
to
more
say, you
times?
know what, this time is bad.
It's bad. Like, am I gonna be sitting down for 27 years? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's bad
Or in a
now.
box.
Yeah, or in a box. So it's like having the wisdom to kind of know, like, you know what, I'm gonna go. This ain't it.
Okay.
And that's where it kind of like that transformation started happening within me.
Okay.
To where I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and take a different route.
And then when you seen him transitioning for the better, I mean, did that change how you felt?
Well, we still have some issues because even though he transitioned in that area, now we have to deal with the pornography. And there were so many times that it made me feel less of a woman because I felt like, what you need pouring for if I'm right here? Like, it would be times where I will wake up like he's not in the bed and I bust in the bathroom and wow, I'll catch him. And like I told you, I'm crazy. So I catch him and I'm just bing, bing, bing. What are you doing? Like, that was like cheating to me. So we got him out of the street.
Why is that like cheating? They're on a screen.
Well, you're how can I say it?
You're seeking your pleasures through another avenue other than your spouse.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he was being he was releasing himself, and that release that he was getting, it wasn't because he was fantasizing my body, or it wasn't because he was touching my body. He was releasing himself, fantasizing another woman on another man. And come on, when you're doing your due, let's keep it real. You sitting there, you beating your stuff. You're not sitting there thinking like, oh, I'm just getting. No, you're imagining that that's you. So I'm looking at it like that's where you want to be. That's what you want. I'm not enough for you.
Did you imagine that was her, or you just see? He didn't think that.
Well,
he didn't think that.
But I think all women
they think that. Women think that.
That's what I thought.
And I think that's like the bad part about that is women think that men cheat with their hearts and they don't.
No, at all.
It don't be no type of heart.
Well, why y'all just didn't do your own porn? Then that way he wouldn't be looking at the screen.
Yeah, we wasn't doing none of that.
She was not with that. That was gonna be out.
We wasn't doing none of that. I was not about to shame my God like that.
That was a way to stop it.
I probably would have got took off on.
No, because then next thing you know, stuff like that, you get leaks all of a sudden. Oh, we got leaks.
Now you tape down the box.
And I gotta explain to the church. I gotta explain to the church. Why?
Okay.
Explain to the congregation.
They gonna tell you to come up here. We need to pray for you.
Have someone up there prophesying to me. The Lord has told me. No, you watched it.
Yeah, that would have went all left.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that was out of moral
I'm sure you.
for
Okay,
me.
you got past the porn addiction.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
past the porn addiction, then it became my lust now. So
because here's the thing: in the midst of my porn addiction,
I learned that he likes, certain things. Like he liked the big booties.
and it kind of fell off on her. So now she's battling it with a thing now.
Yeah, so then I'm starting to like what he like. I like big booties too. Then if that's what you like, I like that too. Matter of fact, I should go get one. That that's where I'm thinking. And it turned into lusting for me to where I started dating girls, and I actually bought a girl in our bedroom, which was probably something I shouldn't did, because once I went there, it's like I stepped into Pandora's box, and it only kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. It got deep. It got really deep.
So y'all had a little entanglement going.
Yeah, entanglement. We had a little mistress. Like it was
cool little second.
Yeah, I completely felt. I'm telling you, when my mom passed, I fell away from the faith. Like it was it was hard. It was hard. But even in that time, I still heard his voice, and it wasn't like a condemning voice. His voice wasn't like, oh, you cut off from the family, you will never be able to be a Christian or my child again. No, even in that time, he was still reminding me that I was loved. He was still letting me know that I'm chosen. And he was still letting me know that you need to repent. Let this go. This is not the life for you. This ain't you. And it's like the lust was there before the release. But every time the release will happen, it's like, what am I doing?
And guilt would come over.
It's like, bro, what am I doing? I'm going to go to hell for this. Like,
and you be like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
But like the thing about that, and what I tell even like,
but it's good while it's going.
And I think the only reason why I felt,
but as soon as you release, it's like, this is kind of burnt out.
It kicks in.
And it felt like it was probably only good because at that time, I was on marijuana, and I don't care what nobody say. Marijuana is a drug. It's gonna make you want to do all type of nasty things. And being on marijuana, it seemed like that's when it would
maybe
come.
For some.
Yeah, for some.
For
me, let me talk about me.
Yeah.
So it was just like every time that we will, I will get high off the marijuana. Like my sexual senses will kick up, and it seemed like it will always go down. It couldn't go down when I was sober. Like my mind and my tune with God would never allow me to do it soberly. I always had to take my mind out of that sober mind and become unsober before I acted in that sin.
Were you smoking sativa or indica?
No, I was probably smoking both.
That was a
I don't
joke.
even
That
know.
was a joke.
If I was going to sleep right
That was a
after, I
joke.
know it was indica, but I don't know,
Okay, so after all of that, then where did your relationship end up?
The divorce.
That was after the entanglement. That's when the divorce, the separation and divorce started happening? Because
I thought I deserved more. So in that point, I
Even
felt
though
like,
you was bringing it to the table?
Yeah,
even though she brought it to the table,
I felt like he wasn't mine. Like, I felt like he wasn't mine anymore. And it wasn't just the fact of me bringing that to the table. It was things.
Do you take any blame for?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
I respect your honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. I sure do. Because again, it was my perversion. It was a perversion that I watched him have, and I thought, well, if I joined you in it, then I won't feel so insecure about myself. But again, in that immaturity, I came to realize like this ain't what it's supposed to be. But I already watched another woman have him, so I didn't feel like he was mine, and I wanted something that was mine, which is what took place after.
Okay. Okay.
so we had got the divorce, and then we completely split up. She went and got her own place. I went and got my own place. But it was crazy because it's like, even with her seeking that other thing,
Mm-hmm.
our relationship didn't end. Like, even after we signed the papers and we're divorced, it was like we was talking on the phone to each other the next day. Like, just on some friend stuff, because I think like after the divorce is over, that fear of like, well, they gonna leave me is gone. Like, and you realize like, dang, they left, I'm still alive. Like, like,
yes,
so it's
yes.
like she's doing cool, like I'm still doing cool. And I think the divorce brought like an honesty in our relationship that it wasn't there before. Because like that fear of this person walking out of your life is gone. Yeah. So it's like, I'm gonna tell you straight raw what it is, and you can either accept it or not accept it, but this is what it is. And I think that started to create a bond within us, that it was like a friendship was starting over.
I was able to tell him like what I felt, that the stuff that I had in my heart, like my brokenness and my hurt, and to be honest, the perversion, I was able to explain more in depth of where these things came from, especially from my childhood. Being able to express to him like why I felt perverse at that time, and why I reacted the certain way I did. And then before even all that, he was cheating on me like constantly. So it was always, an insecurity about myself. And this time, this was me now. It was my time, and I messed it up. But again, like the brokenness, the things I was dealing with as a child, all that played a part in my growing and maturing in this season.
For real.
Okay. Then y'all eventually got back together?
Yeah, exactly 1 year after we divorced.
Okay.
She was moving back into my place.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
but y'all had a better understanding
we
about each other
now.
Y'all had enough time. Get it off your chest, how you feel. Get it off your chest, how you feel.
This XYZ is what I didn't like about this, and all these things.
It took for us to be divorced, and
to
him
see.
to see me with someone else, to make me finally believe that he truly loved me. Because throughout the time that we were married, I never believed that he did love me. Like, there was never, every time we'll talk, I'll always say, like, you don't love me. I never felt his love, his genuine love.
But you did love her.
Yeah, but like after the divorce. And,
no, before the divorce.
Oh, yeah. Before divorce, I loved her. But I had a sorry way of showing it.
And I think as men, sometimes, that's just how we are as men. Like, we'll love the hell out of you, but sometimes the way we express it and the way we show it, it's like it's not the way y'all picture it. It's kind of the way we picture it, and it'd be confusing. Like, well, damn, I don't get it. Like, I love her. Like, she mean the world to me.
What else can I do?
But we're not, I don't know, maybe we're not expressing it as in a Romeo type way.
Yeah. And I needed that Romeo because I was that Juliet,
For sure. For sure. I respect that.
I'm kidding.
For sure.
But I did wanted to experience a love, because I never had love from a man's standpoint. Like, I never had my father in my life to show me that. The first man that was supposed to love me, I didn't have that. I didn't experience that. So this was the next one,
Yes.
and not experiencing it there too. I always felt like I was getting cut short.
Okay. A year later, y'all back together, and
Yeah, and even before that, even before we got back together, when we first got divorced, and when you get your own spot and you single, it's quiet in that bad boy. You left
Yeah.
your thoughts. You get to really kind of like
You
really
miss
face
the
it.
arguments
Yeah,
and
you
all
get-
kinds of
you get-
stuff.
you get to, but more importantly, you get to start facing them demons like head on, because everything's turned off. All you left with is your mind, and that you don't love me will constantly play in my head. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, maybe we didn't work out as a marriage. Like, God, you allowed it to happen, so it's obviously it was supposed to happen. But this person here telling me that I don't love her, that's crazy. So what I'm gonna do now as a friend is I'm gonna make sure that before I die, she know I love her, and not that I want you to be mine, not that like I'm selfish, I want you for myself. No, but I really love you, like,
And I want to show you.
and I want to show you. So anything you need, you know, you can call my phone. No matter where I live in this world, you always got a bedroom in my house. You ain't got to come here and be my woman, but you my dog, like for real, for real. Like, and I need you to understand that. And I think by me taking that initiative to show that rekindled the romance.
Okay.
And then that's when it kind of reunified us. We came back together, and then yeah.
And then you start recognizing and seeing the love that you was looking for.
I mean, during the divorce, I started to notice the love, but I was too blinded.
No, when y'all came back together.
I don't think I was able to see it right away because I was still in love with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard for me to see his love because I was still focusing on the love that I had for somebody else. But once I was able to be taken out of that trance, that's when I was able to see like his genuine love for me was real, because the stuff that he put up with me and the stuff that he stood by my side on, I know that if this was anybody else, it wouldn't have went like that.
Straight out.
Yeah.
Cancel Christmas.
So
Yeah.
cancel Christmas, everything, huh?
Everything.
Batten down the hatches.
Everything.
So then once you start realizing that, you know what, he really loved me, then what, you open your heart up even more?
Yeah, I opened up my heart to give him another chance. I realized that when I wasn't with him, it was like life was going like, but then when I yoked back up with him, it was like life started picking back up again. And I started to notice that this is my soulmate, because like everything that I do and I want to do and that I'm called to do, God has called him to do the same thing. And
Okay.
I noticed that I couldn't do none of those things without him by my
It
side.
was like life had took like a stop. Like everything stopped when we split up. To where it's like we had all these big dreams and goals, what we was gonna do, and we was moving towards it. And then when we split up, it's
The
like,
dreams
I'm
just
about to just
stopped,
go
yeah.
work at such and such then, and you know they got to do CTS Cadillac coming out. Like,
Let me go get that.
You selling for this like this regular life, and it was just like once we got back together, it was like
Yeah.
That's
everything
tight.
started taking off.
And when did the music come about?
The music happened in the midst of our divorce.
In the midst of the
Yeah?
divorce, we started creating.
Yeah,
that's
we
when the
started
music first
creating. Yeah, we started creating
Together or
music.
separately?
Together.
Okay. So
I
y'all
had-
just got on the phone one day, was like, let's do some music?
She had came by my apartment, and I think I was working on something. Wasn't
He
it?
actually had just wrote a song called Liddy, and then I had a song called NASA. And we, in the midst of him creating Liddy and me creating NASA, we had another beat, which is how Good Life got created. So we ended up going to the studio to lay down his single, which was Liddy, and then my single, which was NASA, and Good Life. Good Life was and Real Ones.
And
Real Ones was also done that day too. And it was from there that we realized we
got
had
something.
something, because people who heard that, they will always compliment your voice compliment his, or
Or they would say like
his
they
voice-
can't tell
Who's who.
on the track because both of our voices complement each other so well.
Yeah, and it's so profound. The music was so profound because even in the other relationship that I was in, when that relationship had ended, I remember him saying, he said that God said that you not mine, and I gotta let you go. You and him need to go be great with that music. When he said that, it kind of puzzled me, and I was just like, that was like a puzzling. But even God showed him that it was
Y'all was
destined,
meant
destined
to be.
in
We was-
music,
And he was in the way.
and he
Move on.
He was wise enough to be like, you know what? I'm not even about to stop. What
That's right.
what I
Yeah.
see is going on.
That's right. He's seen the chemistry and everything. And can both of y'all say rather, that music also helped bring y'all closer together too?
Definitely. even today, and right now, I feel like music sometimes keep us still because we be having some moments even now. But
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, and it be
No
like
relationship
the
is
music,
perfect.
No relationship is
the
perfect.
music just keeps us. It's like some of our lyrics be penetrating us. Like we got a song called "Beyond the Hills." And it be in our darkest times where we be just driving, and one of our songs will come on and minister to us, and I'll be
And
looking
they
like,
talk to y'all.
it's so crazy, like how we wrote this song, but we didn't
Years
start
ago.
going through this song until this time. Like if we prophesied on this song, something, you know.
Real.
So yeah,
So you can almost say it's almost like your songs predict your future.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, they
Because
do.
there's certain songs that we wrote, and when we wrote it, I'm like, that's crazy because I wasn't going through this then.
kind of like preaching.
And then like you hear the song and I hear the lyrics and I'm like, dang, I spoke about that then, and I'm like experiencing that now.
Ahead of your time.
Uh-huh.
Ahead
And
of
like,
your
I'm seeing it
time.
firsthand now, and those lyrics is what keep you like, okay, you know you're on the right path. Like keep pushing forward.
Okay. What the process of y'all? Do y'all actually write it down, or you just get in there and punch in, or do you write the lyrics?
Literally, we get beats. Shout out to Dave D Beats.
Yeah.
He has been like one of our major producers since we've been creating our Sunlight Shine album. And we'll always reach out to him. You got beats, or he'll let us be hearing beats, and we'll pick them. And it would just take for the vibe of the beat to go on, and probably I say about 3 minutes in the vibe of the beat. Next, you know, I got a harmony, and I might not have the words, but I'll tell him. I'll say, "Hey, listen to this," and
melody.
I'll give him the melody, and then I'll record it, and then I'll put lyrics to it. I'll give him the hook, and he'll be like, "That's fire, but it could be doper. I'm gonna fix it up," and then he'll end up fixing it. We always get our hook first, and then
Yes.
from the hook, that's when the verses come.
But most of the time, like she said, it be kind of off of feeling. If I don't feel nothing when I hear the beat, I kind of skip it, leave it alone. 'Cause I'm not gonna force it.
Yeah.
But like, because I want my music to penetrate people,
Mm-hmm.
and I want it to make you feel a feeling, and I don't like it to just be like, oh, that's just a nice song, it's a cool beat.
Yeah.
Like, nah, like, because I'm coming from a place of truth. Like,
Yes.
I'm putting my actual life and what I go through in my music. So it's like I needed to encourage me when I'm riding around in my
Yeah.
Straight out.
like, and if I don't feel it, then it's not gonna come out.
Okay.
like simple and plain.
Do you, out of y'all music, all of y'all music, do you have a favorite song? Like if I say play one of your songs right now, what would you go to?
If I had to play one of my songs right now, I would play Unfamiliar.
Okay.
I'll play
Okay.
Unfamiliar. That's my favorite song.
And what is that about?
That is about God kind of showing you a way that's not your normal, and you being open to that. Like the hook is like, you know, Lord, here's my heart, and teach me what's unfamiliar to me. Like, because my way ain't been working. Like, so I know your way is foreign to me, but I trust you enough to step out on your way and just go ahead and walk it out with you.
Straight
That's
out.
what that song is about.
Oh, okay. And same question for you, loved one. If I was to say play one of y'all songs right now, what would be that go-to?
For me, it would be Don't Tell Me No. And the reason why it would be Don't Tell Me No is because I'm not perfect. I find myself striving for the glory of God, but you know, it's like no one surpasses that glory. We all fall short of that glory. And it be the moments where I fall short and I knew better. I knew better. I knew better than to react that way. I knew better than to say that. I knew better than to give that action. I knew better. And in that knowing better, just thinking like, dang, what if that trumpet blew right now? I would have missed it because of one choice that I made, not to act like my Savior, but to act like my flesh and to do what I wanted to do. And in that one moment of acting like that, I could have missed my whole eternity.
Straight out.
And that song right there,
It's a reminder.
it's definitely a reminder, and me basically telling God, like, I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that you died for my sins, but if you ever came back and I'm having a moment, just don't tell me no when I get there.
Understood. Because definitely two things in life that you can't take back is words and bullets.
Yes.
Definitely. And they both hurt. They both, you know what I mean, can be drastic. So So from that song, it's also what relating to like things you have said that you wish you had not have said.
Yes, actually, the song was created. I was listening to the beat, and the beat was playing. I had just got into an argument. And I had said some stuff like I was hot headed, and everything always like, well, we can get down, like. And I realized, dang, you a Christian, bro. Everything don't gotta be you gotta get down. But that was my standpoint. So it's like I'm tired of talking. Let's get down. And driving, I had my kids in the car, and I was just driving, meditating on that, just thinking like, dang. I gotta change that about me. Like I gotta change that always feeling when I don't got no more words to say that I wanna put my hands on you. Like I have
Yeah.
to change that about me. And I remember driving in the car and my kids going into the 99-cent store and the beat was playing, but I was so convicted. I was so convicted that that's all I can say was don't tell me no when I get there. And I just started saying it and over and over and over again to the time by the time I got back to the house, I played it for him and was like, hey, catch this. At first he was just like, that's not a topic too many people gonna want to mess with. And I'm just like, well, how about give it a chance? Let's lay
Don't
it
tell
down.
you no, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, give it a chance. So I started writing more to the hook, and that's when I came with the full hook. And I gave him. He said, "All right, now you got something." And I was like, "But look, I don't want no verse on it. I just want the hook and the bridge. I want you to talk to him." And he talked to him, and the way he came off was just like, So I felt like I didn't even need a verse on it. But yeah, that's how it happened. It happened after an action that I knew I shouldn't have committed. But in the heat of the moment, it's like, bro, I have nothing else to say. Like, what we doing?
Straight out.
Yeah.
Enough talking, huh?
Yeah. So.
So you say kids? Y'all have kids?
We don't have any biological kids, but we definitely got kids.
Got a gang of kids. Got
Yes, I
Miss
have
Wayne's amount of kids.
I have a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay.
I have 2 16-year-old daughters. I have a 16-year-old son. I have a nephew that's about to be 18 tomorrow, and I got a 19-year-old.
Oh yeah, that's a group right there. That's tight.
Got a whole clan, man.
That's tight. And you said none biologically?
No, I don't have any biological.
Okay. So what they are adopted?
No, they're actually one of them is mine.
Okay.
She came through the previous relationship.
Okay.
And then the other ones, they're foster, and then the 2 twins, those are my sister kids. She died from cancer.
Oh wow,
and,
my condolences.
And in her departing, her request was for me to take and raise her girls. Yeah. And then
that's right.
One of them is my nephew.
Okay, that's right. That's what's up. And foster kids, good looking on that because I once was a foster kid, and one thing about that, what I always praise Miss Price over. She ended up adopting me. Because she had a foster home where they temporarily kept kids until they either went back to the parents or they went in the system. My parents, they never came back and got me. They went back and got my older brother, but never came back and got me. So she ended up adopting me. And just, by you accepting them, foster kids, and y'all taking them in to your home, and that's definitely a blessing because they could end up in the wrong hands. Yeah. You know what I mean? And their minds and everything just be destroyed for the rest of their life. So, I definitely, applaud both of y'all for that. That's good. Keep being amazing with that. What's next for y'all, though? What y'all got coming? What's next?
I want to go back to what you were saying. I want to just tell you something. So before we got these foster kids, God had gave me a dream. And in this dream, I walked into this house, and it was a bunch of demons cutting the heads off of kids. And when I got in the house, I got in right when they sliced the head off some of the kids. So some of the kids I couldn't even save, but there was more kids in there. So when I seen it, it was like I drew the sword. But we all know that in the Word of God, the sword is the Bible. So I drew the sword, and I just started killing all the demons in the house. And all the kids that was in that house, I started getting them to safety. So at that time, I was by myself. And I got the kids to safety, but then I got to a gate, and it was like more kids behind him. And I had got these other kids behind the gate. I looked at him, and I said, "You ready?" He said, "I'm ready." And we both drew our swords, and when we turned around, it was like a bunch of demons coming. like if they wanted these kids, but God put us there for the kids.
Protect them.
And this was the dream that he gave me before
Before
God
any
even
of
gave
these
me these
came
kids.
into our
So all these kids that's coming into our life, like they have issues, and for some reason God has just allowed us to be that barrier to heal, to protect, to shelter,
and
to
understand
teach.
and teach and guide.
Like
Yes.
so I
Yes.
believe that like God, he called us for the youth, for the kids. Like I have God kids, I have a godson, Judah, my little Wuda. Like I have God kids. Like
Shout out
even
Wuda.
though like I don't have my biological kids due to miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies. We even had last year we just lost a son in the womb. His heart
Yeah?
stopped beating.
wow.
So we've been through a lot of trauma with, birthing our own, but even in the midst of all that trauma, God is constantly fulfilling that as he keeps bringing these kids in, because all of them, I feel like I had them.
Yes. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a good thing, and I can already tell and see that y'all definitely love them and take care of them, and give them the world.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if the world was mine, they'd have it.
Yes.
I kind of try to tell them that the stars is mine, because I give them a star, and I let my 7-year-old, like, she knows she a star, and she'll tell you, I'm a superstar. I'm like, you gonna do it? She's like, Mommy, no, I'm a star. Like, and everywhere she goes, she leaves her mark everywhere. Everybody know my 7-year-old.
Yeah, you only gotta meet Mooney one time, man.
Yeah.
You're never gonna forget her.
You'll never forget her.
That's good.
That's how bright. Her light brighter than that. Like you
That's
come
right.
in, she just shining. She takes over everything. And let one kid be getting the shine. She like, okay.
Hold
like,
up, huh?
She has a battling spirit, like it's like she's an amazing, bright little kid. She my heart.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What's next for y'all?
Man.
This next project.
Next project.
We're gonna keep dropping these singles.
Okay.
Praying that one of them take off. We got businesses that's growing and being established here right now. Like we got Niche Waxing and Body Sculpting Bar in Apple Valley.
Okay.
We're getting ready to open one up in Corona. We got a nail shop and a hair shop coming to Corona.
That's right. Entrepreneurs. That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah.
That's right.
Building it from the ground up, right?
And creating generational wealth for them little ones.
Exactly what we're doing. Man. Something that we can pass down to these kids, man. I think other cultures, they, Jewish kids, they get that bar mitzvah, that's stacked up.
Yeah.
I think as African Americans, we gotta start doing something for our kids that we can pass down to them. And I'm not knocking the go to college, get a job thing, but at the end of the day, I don't want my kids' financial well-being to be tied to somebody else being like, oh, you're fired, and now your money stop.
Yeah.
And how you gonna provide for
Straight out.
Yeah.
Like, so we really big on not just telling them to build their own, but I'm gonna do you one better than that. I'm gonna bring you along and I'm gonna let you watch us build something from the ground up. So that way you ain't curious about how to do it. You're going to see the
hands
ups and
on.
downs.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the ups and downs. You're gonna see when it's going bomb, when it's going bad. How do you manage it when it's going bad? How do you budget and cut back when things is getting a little tight? I want to show you how to really, really be your own boss and pay the cost.
Yeah. Yes.
Should be
Straight
the
up.
boss because
It's gonna cost your own.
it's going.
You have to put your own
When you
money
put your
behind
own
you.
money up, that's when you really know you the boss.
And that's the thing. Not too many people want to put their own money behind them. They look for handouts or they look for loans and business loans. And sometimes, you just got to stack. You got to have a mindset. You have to have a goal, and then you have to achieve it. But too many people want handouts, and it's like when you want to become something great or you're trying to build something great, it's gonna cost you to invest in yourself.
It
you
sure
ain't
is.
gonna bet on you. How do I bet on you?
Exactly.
Straight out.
Like, you got to believe in yourself and you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Even with a lot of artists, I hear a lot of artists say, oh, yeah, I'm looking for a deal. I'm waiting for a record deal.
That's crazy.
But they don't invest in themselves.
You don't invest in
And I
yourself.
tell them all the time, I said, you're looking for a deal. It's better to have a deal look for you.
Exactly.
But if you're not putting yourself in position to where a label can see you, how are they going to recognize you?
Or you'll get a bad deal.
Definitely.
Mandatory. And sign it out of desperate.
It's a long list of your favorite rappers who still in bad deals.
Mm-hmm.
And a deal ain't nothing but an advance, man. It's a cash advance.
A loan.
If you put together a solid business plan, you can go right into Chase or Bank of America and get whatever amount of money you need to start whatever you're trying to do. It's better to go ahead and put together a plan, stick to your guns, carry out that plan and build it from the ground up. The money that you can get off that advance, you're gonna see that money eventually anyway. It's just you taking the stairs. You're not getting on the elevator.
Yeah.
Even with a deal, it's like you kind of still working for somebody. It ain't your own.
No.
It's your music, but then you getting a deal. So now you don't even have creative control. You can't even say what you probably want to say, you know? So
No.
it's like now you got to come in and you got to be on their time. You got to have a deadline to get this album dropped. So at that time, it's like what you got, because now you look like you working for
You
somebody.
got a
and you
high-paying
slave.
job.
Yeah, that's it. You got a 6-figure job.
You got a
And you don't see
six-figure
no money for a
job,
while.
And you don't see no money
Right.
for a while.
And then when that money gone, is now you're in debt.
Yeah, and people be thinking that these deals is hot, then they get hit with a 360, but they don't be thinking about nothing. All they think about is I got the deal, I'm on, people get to see me, I'm famous, I got all this.
Well, one thing
going.
I'll say, a 360 deal isn't bad, and here's why. Like back in the days, you know, labels would sign artists, give them a big old check. Artist album flop, the label lose money. They put all that money behind the artist.
They don't get nothing back.
They don't get nothing back, but the artists end up getting a clothing deal.
All right. Any type of endorsement deal,
End up
TV
getting
placement,
endorsement deal, TV placement, movie deal.
and he get that.
The
check.
label don't get none of that. Shows, the label didn't get any of that, but they put you in a position for all these other people to see you.
They pushed the button on the machine
Yeah.
and they gave you that spotlight.
Exactly.
And you can't make a person unfamous.
But I thought
So
360
one,
deals,
but
they
so,
get money off everything.
but see, this is the
do, but
thing
here's
though.
the-
But this is the thing why the 360 deal is in existence. That's another way labels can guarantee their money. They get their money back. You know, just giving you a check and they're not getting nothing off nothing else but what your record sales doing. You don't sell no records, then you get shelved. Okay, we could get some money back off the shows. We could get some money back off your clothing. We could get some money back off this movie deal, this licensing deal. That's a way it kind of guarantee them money on their investment. So really, technically, there's really nothing wrong with a 360 deal.
And I think with the 360 deal, I'm not gonna sit here and say there's nothing wrong with it. People will tell you there's everything wrong with it, but most of the time they kind of pretty greedy anyway.
that's the
I mean, but they,
Me
you
per
know,
se,
but
I
you know they're
wouldn't do it,
greedy
yeah.
when you sign a contract.
'Cause me per se, I wouldn't do it just because I believe in kind of just go ahead and going through it, and you're gonna come out on top. if
and
you
there's a
stick-
lot
if
of
stick
people
to
you
it.
have to pay too.
Exactly, that overhead is crazy, and I'm more so on like.
Well, the overhead is the team you put around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you create that overhead, then there's a lot of people you got to pay. Because if you sign with a label, then the overhead is what the label gave you.
It's the budget, yeah. They get.
It's the budget, but a 360 deal is just the way they can get their money back faster.
But on the plus side, like you said, with the 360 deal, if they making money off everything you do, then please believe you about to be doing everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything.
And that's kind of the plus side to that is they
By
keep you
having a
working.
machine behind
And your
it's
debt,
constantly working.
you know what I mean? It's not taking as long as it would
To
if.
pay it off because
To
you're not
pay it
just
off.
going off album sales.
Yeah, you're going off everything.
You can go off a tour and then be in the green by the time you get back home.
Yes.
You still got to put the work in, but like it ain't bad. I mean, I think it's it's different strokes for different folks.
I mean, it really
some
is.
things work for some
Independent,
artists that don't work for
I
others.
love the independent game.
Yeah.
You know, that's
So
what I
think
do.
I like the freedom of the independent.
But if you could get a machine behind you with the right things in the contract, go for it.
Because you can get a solid 360 if it's like
Yeah.
a 80-20 split across the board.
And it's solid though.
Yeah,
It
and
gotta
it's
be
solid.
solid. Like sometimes people don't read.
Nah,
They don't read.
Well,
They sign
sometimes people, they be like, oh man, this label looking at me. And it'll be a family member that don't know nothing about the business. Well, I'm going to manage you. and they go sit down at the label and have this meeting. And in the contract, it tell you clear as day, you're not going to see no money for the next 15 years, but we're going to give you this $250,000. A lot of people don't look at the print in the contracts. A lot of people go to the advancement.
Yeah.
A lot of people, that'd be the first thing. I mean, the contract is 40 pages. The average record contract is about 40 pages. And instead of having someone that really know what they're doing, look at it, they go look at the advancement. Oh man, you finna get like $500K. And the person that don't know the business that's managing him, he like, well, I'm finna get about 15% of that, 20% of that. Man, go ahead and sign it, man. You're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. Go on, sign. So they sign it, and then that money is used for the album. Management took theirs off the top. What you got left, and what about taxes?
Man, God forbid you go buy a chain or a car.
Well, that's automatic. Everybody, they go get a chain, they go get that car, they go get them clothes.
You bought down your last.
And then they gotta have that. They gotta have that picture like this for the internet with both arms with hundreds.
Hey, that's your last. That's your last 50 racks right there in that picture. You down your
and then it's gone.
You down your last bit of change.
So it really based upon too, man. Your surroundings, who you got around you. You got to make sure you know what I mean. You always got the right people around you, man. When it comes to this business, because woo, it can make you or break you.
Yes, it can.
And when it break you, ooh, it demolish you.
It get to, and what it does, destroy the mental.
Yeah.
Have people want to kill themselves, and have people just, it's just.
Well, labels have insurance on artists. You know, they have life insurance on artists. That's in the contract. That's how they protect their investment.
Dang.
You know?
Now, why you think everybody gets such a big rollout when they pass away? And there's not one artist who's passed away who didn't go platinum.
Yeah.
Like, they open a big budget. Big, huge budget.
Gotta get that money.
They milk every dollar.
Every dollar.
That's hot.
But yeah, that's the crazy part. But yeah.
Any shows? What's going on? Any shows coming up?
Yes.
We actually got a show on July 29th at the Adelanto Stadium.
Yes,
We
okay.
be the Maverick Stadium.
Okay.
You know, we got the Love Connection. Shout out to Love
Shout out
Connection.
to Love Connection.
We got us, the Lovebirds, and
Lovebirds in the building.
we got more artists coming out. Got some heavy hitters coming out, and it's all going down on July 29th.
Okay.
Adelanto Stadium.
Yeah, man. Adelanto
We'll be
Stadium,
there.
man. Be there.
Oh yeah. So don't meet y'all there. Beat y'all there. Huh?
Meet us there,
Meet us
man.
there. Pull up.
What's the next record y'all got lined up to release?
The next record we got lined up is one of my favorites. See, I couldn't even tell you that this was my favorite because it ain't dropped yet.
Oh, okay.
My favorite is Separation.
Your new favorite.
Yeah,
Separation's
Separation.
about to come
Okay,
out.
so what's that about?
It's basically about you choosing your side. Which side you standing on? You can't be hot or cold. You can't be both. You can't be lukewarm. You gotta either be hot or cold. So
Bro, you gotta draw your line and stand there.
yeah,
Okay.
stand on that line. You draw,
If
but
not,
you
then
can't be
separate
double
yourself?
down. Exactly. Separate
Okay, can't
yourself.
one foot in, one foot out.
Can't
Gotta have
be
both feet.
straddling the fence.
And that's what separation is about. It's about choosing your side, man.
And making that bed when you choose that
And if
side.
you choose your side, you made that bed, you lay in it.
You lay in it.
Laying it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely an old saying. You made the bed, you gotta lay in it.
Yeah.
That's what separation is about.
When is that dropping?
That's actually dropping in August.
Oh
We're trying to
man,
come up with a
August
date.
is next week.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with a date because August is next week. We just dropped In the Blink of an Eye.
In the blink of an eye out right
Okay,
now.
yeah. And I was
he-
listening to y'all music, so definitely, you know what I mean, it's fire.
He feels
That
we
Grateful.
should,
Blink of an
that's
eye
why-
is fire, but that grateful is
Grateful
is saying something for real.
And Ether 760, he wants to drop a song every month. Like he tried to go every 2 weeks. I'm like, wait,
That's
chill.
good.
I know it's good, but I'm like, wait, chill, because like you
No,
wanted
stick to
chart, but
that.
He like go catalog.
Stick to that.
And he know when you
Build
talk
this
about
thing
more
up.
in the music. See, I don't really.
No,
that's
that was
him.
a good
So,
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every
because
2
it's
Because
weeks.
there's
Yeah.
no such thing as too much music. No such thing as too much music. Every 2 weeks is good. They constantly hearing you.
Yeah.
The key thing is to stay in their ear and stay in their face.
Exactly, and we slapping y'all over the head with these bangers.
Oh yeah,
every
for real,
single time.
for real.
And y'all getting ready to see within this next. Y'all getting ready to see August.
What'd you
Because
say?
y'all heard Grateful, y'all heard In the Blink of an Eye, and then y'all about to hear Separation. I'm like, oh, they just gonna keep coming. It's like
Yes.
DJ Khaled, another one,
Yes.
and another one.
What
Like,
do you
we got
say?
'em.
And I keep giving these tracks heart attacks, though.
Hey, every time the beat bang harder I go.
Mandatory. That's what's up, man. Let everyone know where they can find y'all, where they can find your music.
Absolutely, man. We're on every platform: Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, whatever you listen to your music on. Type in the Lovebirds. That's ThaLoveBirds. LOVEBIRDS, all together, no spaces.
And you can also find it on our website, www.ThaLoveBirds.com.
Check us out on the Instagram, ThaLoveBirds.mtg, Facebook, The Lovebirds.
Yes.
Okay.
Everywhere, man.
And then let them know for the the businesses y'all have. Where can they, come to the y'all got massages and all that, right?
Waxing and body
Waxing,
sculpting
look.
bars. Yes, in Apple
We got
Valley,
waxing,
California.
full body waxing. We got facials, massages. We got a jacuzzi. We got
sauna.
The sauna. We got the mud baths. We got ice bath therapies. We got manicures, pedicures, body sculpting.
Yes, indeed.
We
So
have so much.
if you get off work and you a little stressed out, man, stop by Niche Waxing and Body Sculpting Bar and Day Spot, man. Go ahead and relax.
Yes.
And where's it located?
It's in Apple Valley, California.
We have 18031 California 18. That's Apple Valley, California. And that's Suite E and F because we just expanded.
Yeah, we just expanded and got the building behind us. So yeah.
Instead of letting them stacks, go get it waxed. I'm OG Cuicide. As always, thank y'all for tuning in, for tapping in every week. Make sure y'all share the videos. Amazing interview today with my loved one, man, my family, the Lovebirds. We out. Peace.
Peace.